Push Pull Run, Australia and the world's most premier hybrid event, is now live, and you can apply for the coaching applications for the next Push Pull Run event, which is on October 7th. We currently only have the coaching application open, so if you're looking to get started with one of our coaches here at Strength Culture and push your training, find some motivation with training, and work towards the event on October 7th with us, that is available to you in the first link down below. The coaching program for Push Pull Run 2 is now live. Come and join the fun. Come push yourself, both conditioning and lifting. It's great fun. We'll see you there. Welcome back to Strength Culture's podcast, number one in the hearts, number one in the charts. Here with the Bouz again. Thank you very much. Episode, I'm counting it down every time, 87.
13 to go.
Apparently we're 13 off actually having a podcast, according to Angus Bradley.
Will we hit 100 by the end of the year?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yep. Especially if we...
July.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You hope so.
Mate, you're in the future.
Yeah. 13 weeks to the end of the year?
Easy.
We've got to do something big for the 100.
We do. I feel like
I'm
we
not
do.
doing anything big, but I'll be here.
You're not...
Nah, just like, I don't know.
Something fun. Something fun.
Is that when we take the helicopter to the top of Crown?
Yeah, that still needs to be in.
We need finances.
No, that's fine. It's actually not that expensive.
Oh, we're
'cause
good.
we're
Okay,
having-
we're sorted.
Yeah.
Speak for yourself, bro.
All right, Mr. fucking sold out seminar. Webinar, sorry.
Webinar guy. Huge webinar guy. How was the webinar, Bouz?
The webinar was good. I was quite happy with it. It was my first solo little bit. Thank you for the push, Jay Smith. It was nice to do it and learn all the little things with the back end systems. And the landing
The integrations.
page. Oh, I've integrated nothing. I've integrated absolutely nothing. So I understand where, like, I look at all the Instagram posts of anyone running a business and they're like, the keys, automation to this and automate your processes. I automated nothing. Anytime someone made a purchase, I had to manually send a receipt and manually send them any sort of email to do with information with it. Horrendous. It wasted so much time. So big learnings, landing pages. What else did I learn about?
Email lists.
Big
Yep.
MailChimp guy. Again, horrendous. I'm no good with any of these things, but it's been fun to just do little bits and pieces like that. Next up is going to be my website, and I've got to think of my education. What's your education business name?
Had a few name changes, yeah?
I have. I'm not ready to explain the next phase, but at some point we will explain what I've learnt going to therapy guy as well now. We're on our therapy arc.
Big therapy arc.
But yeah, I'm not ready to explain exactly where I'm at, but I've just bought a new
space.
I literally this week I've just bought a new business name. I've just started a new website. I'm about to.
What's your current business name then?
Well, I've just closed that. It was Strength Coach Development was the previous one, which I started in 2020, but it just didn't feel right. What I wanted with that, it just never ended up working out. So I've taken a step back. And I've got a new, but I'm not ready to.
Yeah, nice.
It will come though.
My ABN is currently Jamie Buzio's head education. I'm thinking it'll be Change Your Life Education or something.
Change Your Life,
that.
yeah.
Yeah.
For the listener, how did you change lives in your webinar? What was the subject matter?
Well, the title was sort of vague. I actually still don't know what I called it. I've written it and I've posted it that many times. It's coaching,
Intensification.
coaching and programming strategies for maximum effort. I think that's what I called it, which is the crux of it all. But really what it was all to do with is programming and coaching is multifaceted. You're dealing with humans. You're dealing with humans that have drives and motivations. And a big thing or a big gripe that I have with Insta fitness coaches and cliche points with trying to drive change in their clients is that this thought that motivation or this concept of motivation, that it's a bad thing and not to rely on it. And it's I understand the reliance, discipline, this, that, creative behavior, that's how it lasts. But the whole problem I saw was that it's a misunderstanding of what motivation actually is. And the common thought is that it's the G-Up song It's the motivational YouTube video to get you there.
It's the Greg Plitt that gets you to the gym.
Yeah. It's the pep talk. It's watching the C-bum videos, eating your chicken and rice, like to get yourself to the gym. Like that's what motivation is. But that's not what it is. And if you're blaming your client for relying on motivation, then you're missing it altogether. And I think that motivation is something that can be accounted for by programming and coaching and teaching your client the requisite skills to auto-regulate, and then for you to actually build auto-regulation methods within a program and use intensification methods so that, you know, if there is a time constraint, if things need to be adjusted on the fly, that you can get someone to maximize effort on any given day dependent on readiness on any given day, rather than like, this is a fixed program, do it, it is what it is, carry on. Client's not bought in, client doesn't feel autonomous or independent, and then they just they fizzle out. They don't feel like it's the crux of it is it's client-centered coaching. How can you build that relationship? How can you get someone to feel like they're motivated every step of the way and continue to foster motivation and buy-in in this collaborative process so someone can keep making gains over the long term? Because I think, like, without sounding like sort of gross, like with this, but from a coach's standpoint,
get a bit gross.
Yeah, I'm going to get gross. Like from a coach's standpoint, like keeping your client motivated is the best client retention strategy. Like it really is. If you are showing your client that you can get them from point A to point B and from point B to C and take them on this journey to achieve everything that they've wanted to achieve in their physical development journey, then like they're probably going to want to stay on with you. Like that's the kicker. If you can't show them that you're going to get them there, or they don't feel comfortable enough or feel like they've got the skills to get there, they're just going to quit, which is fair enough. Like it's fair enough. So that was the crux of it. In terms of how I changed the attendees' lives, it was just explaining the theories behind it, BPS model, self-determination theory, and then auto-regulation as a whole. Things that matter most in getting outcomes. But then I tried to make it as practical as possible because I do have strategies. Because you see online, it's like you understand the principles, then you can do anything. But I look at the demographic and the people that follow me, and it's coaches that are under 25 years old, under 26 years old, and the principles are fine. And to us, we can see a principle, and then with years of training, with years of reading, things like that, we can see how a method would fit under a specific principle. Whereas you get a 20-year-old coach, like how do they know how that principle fits in with specific methods or using specific methods in programming? So I tried to make the second half like as practical as possible, from the check-in process to like using block reviews and like intensification methods, annual planning, like microcycle, like just shit like that, so they could see the principles at play, and then use that within their own coaching the week after. I think it went well. Had some nice messages.
It was awesome, man. I think.
Thanks for coming, bro.
No, thank you for putting it on.
Did I change your life?
Yeah, you changed my life. Fucking oath.
You've changed mine too, bro.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's go.
Yeah.
No, too many feelings. Push them down, boys. Push them down.
Nah, therapy arc, boys. Therapy arc. Let's talk
all
about
the feelings. I want to start crying.
I want to G you up a little bit here, because I know in-house we see how good a coach you are. Like, you have had a massive impact on our systems and what we do and how we navigate certain things with the clients. And I've said it multiple times on a number of podcasts where I'm like, Jamie B is just a fucking good coach. Like, fundamentally just gets people. And I think you're about to put yourself out there, and the world will realize your strengths as a coach and how you can help not just your clients, but other coaches with their, because I know that every Monday we're talking about things, and you always have such valuable inputs in retention strategies and onboarding clients in improving those processes. And I think I think you're in a prime position to put yourself out there. So it was good. I thought it was fucking awesome.
And it's it's no coincidence that for a long time you've been coaching a fucking bunch of weapons, and you've consistently been able to do that. Like, obviously, success leaves clues. Like, you're doing something right. And obviously, I'm saying that sarcastically, but fucking that think you're a fucking mad coach, and I've learned plenty from you.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so it's
Appreciate that.
exciting to see. I want to come back to that discipline idea a little bit though, and I think this because I think at the core of why people want to coach is because they ultimately want to coach like quote unquote weapons. They want to coach people that are really driven, that are really like strong, athletic, like all of those sort of things. Whether or not you do powerlifting, you want to coach like elite lifters and really take people to where their potential is and all of that. But in the reality of what coaching, personal training, whatever this space is that most clients' lists are filled with a general person who just wants to feel stronger, feel those wins, get that process rolling and actually build out a healthier, more sort of the pursuit. They want to build that pursuit to get there. And that's where most people is. And I think if you try to layer this discipline approach to those people who aren't ready for it yet, eventually you can get to a point where you're just disciplined and it just becomes, but the reality is that most people will never get there. They need to feel these sort of strategies in their program where they can accumulate wins, they can build momentum, and it is a different strategy than just being this hard top-down coach of just like the discipline. Like it's just like.
But I think those strategies is what gets them there in their capacity. You know what I mean? Like discipline in the context that a lot of these people talk about it in is the not missing sessions, not missing meals, like quote unquote perfection.
Earn your beers.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like that sort of shit. But it's like the person that's getting into it that has a general interest with it, but also training is sort of like on the same level as everything else. It's
just another thing that's important to them in
whatever.
their life.
It's another thing that's important to them. It's like you can still be a weapon. Just understand the constraints around your life that allow you to get there.
And set things up accordingly.
And auto-regulate accordingly rather than like those weapons are talking about rigidity because their life can provide them with rigidity. They don't have things that
competing demands
are on the same. They don't have competing demands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but I don't know. I think it's just a different strategy. It'd be nice to have people just come in and then do everything you have on paper.
Just doesn't happen.
Never have an issue.
I've got multiple things to say. First thing is, it would be nice, but like as coaches, if everything was easy for us, would we be fulfilled? Like if clients did exactly what we needed them to do all the time, it's like, where's our value? You know what I mean? Like the value is in helping get something out of someone that you didn't think at first might be possible, or just helping someone overcome challenges. Like that's fucking what we're here for. Like if it's just like, oh yeah, you just write a program, they nail it, they get everything right, they get heaps strong. It's like, oh yeah, that's mad. But like, did we really do much? The other thing I was going to say is I think it's really important if you're a coach to be aware of the people that you're working with. I think we have a pretty good idea of that. And maybe over time and definitely over time, I think we've paid more attention to that and been more aware of that. But like have an accurate idea of the people you're working with and who it is you want to help. Because based off that, there's a way you need to set things up. And I think because, you know, a lot of like younger coaches, like they look up to these people on social media, and then maybe that coach you look up to is like a very hyper specific bodybuilding coach or physique coach or powerlifting coach. And yeah, probably for them, which is not the majority, which is a very, very minority of coaches, they work with people who are just like dialed in. Yes, coach, I'm going to do exactly what you say. No questions asked. I'm never going to miss a session, blah, 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 blah. For most of us, all of us included, we just don't work with those people.
Even still, I don't think those coaches are out there.
They potentially. And maybe it's all smoke and mirrors on social media. I think there are some of them that are like that.
Yeah, but you even go to like the elite of any sport. So like NBA. Like I can even just put it when I was working at the AFL level. Within the coach, you would think these guys are the elite athletes. They want to be part of it. They want to do everything to tick the box of getting. But then the reality is you go in the gym and half the team there is still like trying to get out of doing this shit. They don't want to do it.
Well, I think that's 100% true. I think the difference with like powerlifting and bodybuilding is it is the sport. Like if you're a footy player, you like playing footy.
Yeah, but even still,
I mean?
I reckon if we got Sean Noriega on here and be like, your client list, because I reckon he would...
Perfect. Honestly, I think they're out there because like he'll actively say on his story, like, I'm taking on a few more clients. I only work with people who are willing to like, in other words, control every single variable.
Yeah,
like,
which means he still has people that don't align with those things.
He does, but I think because of that, and as I said, this is a very, very minute amount of coaches, but I think there are coaches out there who can get away with it. Yeah. Maybe it's RTS, maybe like Mike Teixeira. I feel like if you're under Mike Teixeira, powerlifting is your life. Do you know what I mean? Like just little things like that. But that's besides the point. The point is though, most of us, 99% of coaches, work with people who have competing demands, and because of that, we can't just mirror what we see these leaders in these certain like niches of the industry go after. Because if you're like, oh yeah, I'm a powerlifting coach. Yeah, look, let's be real. Even if you coach powerlifters, most of us aren't powerlifting coaches. Yeah, we coach some powerlifters, but it's not exclusively what we do. There's very few people who are making a full-time income off that. That's just the reality situation. Or even if you coach people who compete in powerlifting, that's not their whole life. Like they've got other goals. They've got physique goals. They just want to feel better, yada, 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 like all these things. So based off that, all these things obviously Bouz would have talked about in his webinar. Like you need to set things up in a way that makes sense according to that. Once you know that's the case, there's a way you go about things.
Yeah. There's better strategies. Yeah,
and I don't know. I look at because I think we're talking about two, like Didier and Jack. You were talking about two different things slightly. I look at the strongest guys on my list, and like they're still missing shit. You know what I mean? They're still missing shit. They're still doing stuff like, and it's not a bad thing.
Discipline.
It's not a bad.
Just
you know what I
imagine
mean?
how good that'd be.
They're still auto-regulating on the fly. Like they're still like tweaking the plan and whatever else. I just don't think perfection and even elite performance are it. Like it's just not that's not it. And then the second point you're making about like looking at everything first, this is separate to what I was just saying then. It's like with the onboarding and like with getting anyone on, like the last question or the last thing we figure out is like training frequency. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, what do you do for work? Oh, sweet. What's that time commitment like? Do you have a family? Oh, sweet. What's that time commitment like? And the last, do you travel to work or do you work from home? Where's your gym? How far is that from home? Like factoring in all that shit comes so much before this training.
It's got priority.
It's got priority because it's like, how much space do you actually have for this
in your day?
That you can actually devote quality time to yield a benefit, not fucking.
And the thing is,
6 days a week is it. So do it
from the outset. I think if you ask those questions and start those conversations, you allow the client or the lifter, whatever you want to call them, to know that okay, these things actually matter. Whereas if it's like, okay, you train 4 days, mad, we'll roll with that, and then maybe they're sitting there thinking, far out, this program's really long. I just really can't commit to it, but that's what they said. I'm going to really try. But if you knew that it was just too much for them or based off their situation, it wasn't appropriate, you'd be like, yeah, sweet, we'll modify. And they might think that as a result, that's them not working hard or they're not going to get gains. But as we said, and I can say this as well, like the lifters I have who are the best when it comes to just like pure performance, it's not all like perfection. It's not all hit every session. It's not all, they're not training necessarily the most. Like that's just how it is. Like it doesn't necessarily line up like that.
No, it's just they just do their best on any given day with what they've got.
And that's really all.
And they've got the tools to know what to do.
Yeah, and you foster that.
Yeah, because you'd basically like.
And they've probably been doing it for longer than others. Like that's probably the key factor.
For longer than others, or their coaches communicated it. Like I don't know. I've got a couple guys that have just started not super strong, like objectively, but. You know, I remember my coaching check-in this last week, like something was just a bit all over the place, microcycle structure. Like wasn't as I laid out, which is fine, never give a shit about that anyway. But like it's laid out, it's programmed in a way that I think will improve performance. But if it's not executed like that, I don't give a fuck. Like just get the work done. There's that. And I looked at the notes, like, oh, I didn't do this one, was at a different machine, so I opted for this instead and did that. And that wasn't a directive on my behalf. Like I just didn't. I've been training for like 3-4 weeks. And I'm like, fuck yeah. Like, that's what's going to allow for you to get stronger over the long term because you would be so surprised how many people like, oh, I couldn't do this in order, so I just skipped this session or whatever else. Or I didn't have access to this machine, so I just skipped it. I'll do it later. And they completely miss the exposure as opposed to getting something good enough.
It comes back to the coach. Like, it's literally our job to let them know that that's okay. Oh, you couldn't do it in the order? Bench first instead of squat. Do your rows, like stuff, whatever it might be. Like it's literally on us to teach them that. Like
optimal versus robust, mate.
I was going to say,
robust is the way.
Do you think that now that we're sort of like, and it's happening in a lot of different areas in the industry. So from like a rehab perspective, like I think just the global consensus about like what pain is and that it's so multifactorial that there's so many avenues and directions you can take to get out of pain now rather than maybe 10, 15 years ago, it would be like, oh, you got back pain? It's because you flex your spine, you need a brace. Like that was like just one example. But from like a hypertrophy perspective, for so many years, it's been like you have to do this exercise in this sets and reps. However, that's all starting to break down, and our understanding of hypertrophy is now a lot more like multifactorial, and you can really do any exercise as long as you tick in the threshold box.
There's just some key principles you have to adhere to.
Yeah. Same with like strength training. It used to be like you have to do it this, and this way, but now it's starting to be like, it's opening up. Do you think this will change, or?
Well, I think it is changing. It's the what is it, non-linear fucking complex.
The dynamic systems theory.
Like, I don't know. That's just there's so much that you can't control for.
Yeah.
So it is just paying respect to what humans are. I think.
Yeah.
Like we
and
can't be
the psychology of that as well, which is ultimately the biggest driver in actually attaining, and motivation, disciplines for cucks. That's
the new one now. Oh, you can't say that. You're a coach, bro.
No, I'm not.
You are this month.
I am this month. Holy shit! Yeah, full client list. But no, it's. I think it's and I think a lot of young coaches will probably. Because I know that I even get it. Like the classic one is like, oh, my clients, they're not motivated, or they like, how do you get there is strategies to improve that. So the webinar will be linked in the show notes or whatever the fuck down below. You can purchase it after the fact, so you can go back and buy it now. I highly recommend it. Bouz is a king, and I think you're going to have a big impact.
Thanks, bro.
On the next generation of coaches. But yeah. Look, I'm going to be honest here. If you enjoy the shit talk on this podcast and you can sit through an hour of us every week smacking around on different ideas about training, client management, as well as all the fun stuff, there's probably a good chance that you'd enjoy the process of working with one of our coaches here at Strength Culture. We love working with individuals who are looking for performance-based goals, whether that be lifting and testing their 1RMs, maybe moving towards powerlifting, or incorporating some of these hybrid strategies that we're doing with our push-pull-run community as well. Maybe you're looking to stop spinning your wheels, find some motivation, find some drive, some passion for training again, or simply just looking to join a community of like-minded people all pushing performance-based goals. If this sounds like you can learn more about our coaching services in the links down below, or you can reach out to one of the boys on the main page of Melbourne Strength Culture on Instagram, and we'll happily set up a chat to talk to you about your training goals and the potential coaching opportunities that we have here. Really cool. The next topic that I wanted to chat about though is this the TRT Olympics.
The TRT Games.
The TRT Games. Yeah, they're bringing it out. Have you seen this shit, boys?
I've seen some whispers here and there.
So apparently there's a guy who beat Usain Bolt, but he can't show you his face.
And he can't show you a video.
He's an enigma. He can't show you the time. He can't show you the sprint.
It's such an outrageous thing to say. Like,
yeah. It is the cringiest piece of promo I've ever seen. Ever.
I thought like, is it a spoof? It feels like a spoof.
It feels like a spoof.
Yeah,
it's like acceptance and equality for enhanced athletes.
Literally, yeah.
It's like stop the shame.
You need to accept enhanced athletes. Yeah,
I've got to find it. I'm just going to look at the captions again. We'll keep talking.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was thinking like because I've heard rumblings. I think Angus told me about this a couple months ago, and then now it's really starting to pop up. Like it was on the news, like these videos, these little snippets of these athletes that apparently are just smacking world records and stuff. But like, which sports do we reckon TRT is going to just change?
So I reckon throws.
You reckon throws?
I reckon throws would probably get...
He's get a heap of mass on you?
Yeah. Because it's like, I think throws...
I feel like all the Olympic weightlifting records won't be bigger. The Olympics will just...
That'll be standard.
They've had some TRT in the mix for quite a while.
They've been in the TRT world for a little bit.
The world isn't ready for him. The Olympics hate him. He has been vilified. He will be vindicated. Are you ready to help him? To fight for him? This could... And then the hashtag science is real.
I love how like this is the cause they want people to like go to bat for. Like of all the causes you could support in the world, enhance athletes. This is the one.
I'm all for it. Open it up. Yeah.
All for it. Like just all for
get
it.
A better marketing team behind it.
In the comments, something seems off about you guys. It feels like a satire the way you go about this.
It really does.
Imagine if it's just a big joke.
And then we're not in on it. We don't realize.
Well, man, the guy that's running it was on like Piers Morgan and shit like
that.
No,
like, they've started to really get out there.
Mainstream. They're getting
current affair, this, that. Like it is actually, I don't know. It's pretty funny. They got doctors, but The Ethical Advisory Commission.
Yeah, well, they're saying that it's going to be better for
Sports
athlete, like the health of athletes, obviously with all these juices that are trying to like flunk the systems and flush stuff out of their
They're
body.
going
we'll-
to take slightly less stuff.
Well, I think they can just run it all the way through. Yeah,
We'll manage your health will be better if you never come off. Like that's
yeah, I think so. Yeah, it'd be like even like what? So you reckon throws? I reckon that just the hardcore just track and field events are just going to blow up.
like a sprint.
Like the sprints, like imagine a 10K run on EPO, like that guy, like those events, like how much faster.
It's EPO too.
It's everything, man. It's not just TRT.
Everything.
There's so many drugs that we don't know about that just do hectic shit.
Yeah.
Like hectic shit. I remember that one Viata article I read, and I was just reading about it, and I was like, "What the fuck are these drugs?" Like, you've never heard of it. Everyone's heard it's about tests and fucking.
Well, maybe we've never heard of it because we're in the fucking strength and fucking hypertrophy world. Maybe
we're just too
maybe
naive
the
for our
endurance
good.
world, man. They know about these
I'm
compounds.
sure they would.
Oh yeah, 100%. I don't know. Icarus blew my mind.
Yeah.
Like they're calling it the Enhanced Olympics. It's just like
Kind of has been for.
yeah. So I'm just curious, like how much of the field are on drugs at the moment, and like how stringent is the testing in cycling? Is it WADA? Is it still USADA and what? It would be.
It would be. I just feel like
And they're all getting away with it.
like the narrative is always that the bad guys are always ahead of the curve. Like that they're always like testing retrospectively and like people get popped like 5 to 10 years down the track. But the Icarus documentary, if you haven't seen Icarus, I'd highly recommend. I don't even know what it's on anymore, but like that whole, like they've got an entire sort of framework built in to get these athletes to pass tests and it's just wild. It's actually a wild.
And I
Yeah.
with the enhanced, I wonder how deep the talent pool will be, because like even in enhanced guys,
If they get money behind
in
it,
the top end, if they get money behind it, but even enhanced guys, like you would hear about them just with the Instasphere. Like you would know that these guys are freaks. Just they would be influencers.
yeah.
They would be influencers. They would have massive followings, even if they were on gas.
But maybe not. They're all scared.
Or yeah, they've been vilified.
They've been vilified.
That's
the
the
Olympics.
thing,
The Olympics hate
They
that.
act like they've been vilified, but the amount of like fucking fitness influencers who are on shit and who do fine, like no one really.
That's
cares.
what I mean. Like I feel like you would know about it. I feel like you would know. There would be a big.
What's the thing?
Or these guys are just covering their shit and just competing where the competition
Because
is.
it's all secret. Because like
they're athletes.
That's the
Like-
thing. If you're an athlete and like you're good, even if you're on shit, like you'd want to be in the Olympics. Like why would you want to be in this fucking until it's become something like?
Well,
Where's the
stat?
clout? Like
What's the stat about all the Olympians or whatever? They've asked them, like, if you could take however many years off your life to win a medal, like, would you? And this thing was like it was close to 100%.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Like
it's crazy.
they just want to win.
They're just competitors, man.
Yeah.
Like they're competitors at their fucking core. You go where the competition
See, that's
is,
the thing,
not
like-
where it's this shallow talent pool. You'd rather the risk or running the risk of hiding your drug use to compete with the best of the best and get a gold medal. I just don't think it's going to be that. They've only got 600 followers on Instagram.
that's why
you know what I
when
mean?
I saw 600
As I said,
followers,
they need
I'm
a
like,
better marketing team.
they've somehow made it
Not
onto
the Olympics hate him.
They
Good
need
Morning
Donny.
Britain,
They need
but they've
Donny
got
to make
600
their
followers on Instagram. Like
Yeah.
something's not right there. Like
I'm sorry, the guy used in the Piers Morgan thing, he used like caffeine as a stimulant. It's like my body, my choice. It's like caffeine is a stimulant. It's like people are enhancing.
shut
It's like,
the fuck up.
Bro, I'm sorry, man, but drinking a cup of coffee is not pinning yourself with meals during the week.
it's the same, bro.
It's
It's
not
the
the
drugs
same.
at the end of the
It's
day. It's a
same.
drug.
Yeah.
Fucking-
And then I feel like it will eventually get to the point where it's like, yeah, but this still isn't fair. Like some people don't have the access to the drugs.
No,
or the
it's not
money
fair.
to-
Life's not fair. Get over it. Like fucking. It
Just
is what
hide
it is.
it like a real man. Far out.
Just get through drug tests.
Well, like
a real man.
imagine like Usain Bolt at his peak and then just TRT the fuck out of him. Like how fast could he have been? Like just a monster. Like Ian Thorpe.
I'd love
Put
to.
Thorpe
I'd
on
love to
test.
find out like how much faster could they get?
Yeah, I'm just
Like could
Because like even like the swimsuit got banned, didn't it? Because it was
Yeah.
too slick. Like
Yeah, it was
the
doing
full
things.
body, the torpedo suit.
like how many hundredths of a second are we talking? Like
yeah, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
Well, apparently there's a rogue sprinter faster than Usain Bolt out there, man. Just fuck. It's gonna happen.
No one knows about him.
Yeah, no one. No,
Shut
you
the
can't.
fuck up, bro. You've been at tracks. You're
the fastest human ever.
No one sees
No
you
one
train.
turned their head when they see you run a 9-second 100.
Trains in darkness.
This is all. It's all at 3 a.m.
They were saying that about me at Duncan McKinnon because I used to run at 8:30 p.m. when the lights were off and it was just me in lane 3 because they've got that stupid boom gate to keep you out of lane 1 and 2. So just me punching 400s at 8:30 and I was just yelling out, "I am him."
Fucking hell.
I'm gonna enter it. I'm fucking gonna enter it.
Himmy Smith.
Yeah, Himmy Smith. I think we kind of started this thing with the push pull run and just leaving it open. The only banned
We
substance is
technically
EPO.
are an enhanced federation.
Yeah, we are now.
We don't test.
Untested.
We need to get a seat at this
Untested.
table.
Enhanced is different.
So enhanced is like you have to be on
do you
stuff.
reckon they'll test and you would get banned if you're natty?
You have to be on stuff. It's against the spirit of the games to not be on stuff. Just like with Olympics, it's against the spirit of Olympics.
The spirit of the games.
It's like that. There's a minimum level of fucking enhancement
test.
you need.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
If you're low test, get out.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Your shit needs to be made in a bathtub.
If any of these enhanced athletes want to come do push for run, we don't discriminate.
Yeah,
Get them in. Open the doors. Open the barn
Over
gate.
the floodgates.
Come in and smack push pull run. I think it's. I'm so keen to see it. I really hope it gets off the ground. I'd love to just see some savages out there.
But I'd hope that after all that, they actually do like crazy shit. Like,
maybe powerlifting might end up in the Olympics. It's just in the untested.
untested.
Olympics.
Oh, put it in an untested game. Just get fucking GPC in there.
Get John Hack in there. Get John Hack
Sorted.
in there and just smack world records. Yeah.
I reckon powerlifting get in because they'd be like desperate to get any sport. Like no one would want to go, and then powerlifting's like, yeah, we'll go. Like,
we'll go.
Yeah.
So that's something for us.
Fucking, do you reckon they'll put shit like archery in it?
Well, they've got beta blockers and stuff.
Oh, so like to stop the shakes and
To
shit.
stop the shit. That's what they use. Like I think every single like
There's a
even
drug for everything.
even equestrian start jabbing the horses. Like
It's like these super horses, like they just jump like 30 meters.
Do they test horses?
I don't know if the equestrian is like just like the horse dances kind of.
That's like
isn't it?
jump over stuff. We're talking horse racing.
Wait, so what about rec drugs? Do you reckon they're all going to be on amphetamines?
Probably.
Of course, you got
Fuck. Imagine like wrestling. Oh, like growth hormone and fucking methamphetamine.
Who was that?
These guys are just like taking, like you see
the
in real
UFC
life,
10 years
like
ago.
Mortal Kombat fatality, like just fucking just rip the heart out.
Yeah, wrestling would be a different. Like even boxing, boxing would be
But I feel like we've seen the enhanced games in the UFC.
10 years ago.
Oh, we've already seen it.
Who was
You know what
that?
I mean?
Who's that typical one that they always post?
It's Overeem and Vitor Belfort.
Yeah.
They're the two. So
Yeah.
they called Overeem when he was on the gas Ubereem, and then when his offered is just like
Because
sloppy
you can
ass.
see the before and after. Like
Oh,
he just looks
unbelievable.
soft.
Yeah, because he came from the K1 in Japan,
Yeah.
and in Japan they didn't test. So all these
Oh,
guys,
really?
Yeah, it's mad. So they're all like superheroes in Japan. In
Yeah.
the heavyweight, the Grand Prix, the K1 Grand Prix, they called it.
Is K1 kickboxing?
It's kickboxing. Yeah, it's so mad and
Are they huge?
massive, and they're all on the gear. They're all on the gear. But it's like it's just how much of that is like the drugs don't make you a better fighter. Like so, it's.
Well, you just kick a bit harder. Like
You just kick a bit, and that's not what's going to make you better. You know what I mean?
It lasts
Like-
a little longer.
So that's where I'm looking at like these sports that are just so like rhythmic and whatever else. I don't know. But then you've got to assume that they've got a technical base. So
Yeah, you got to.
They're already good at what they're
not
doing.
just like randoms in
and
there.
then they're just on drugs.
Yeah, like you got two amateurs kickboxing, but they're jacked. They still need the technical skill set. Yeah, I'm keen for it. Open it up.
see if it gets off the ground.
Open it up.
Just gas gymnastics.
I feel like that would have, like you'd have to look at like what are the main ones that like weightlifting is the obvious one. Like I think they may have been kicked out.
They were kicked out.
Yeah.
That's why they're weightlifting now, not Olympic weightlifting. It's just weightlifting.
Oh really? Yeah. Is it actually they got
They got kicked out.
Yeah.
Maybe since
No,
they've been
they're
put
out.
back in, but they definitely got kicked out at one point.
Like
Last Olympics or something.
But like yeah, which are the sports that have the
Curling.
curling?
I love it if there's some ones you don't expect. Yeah, curling.
Like
Slalom.
But then even like all these random sports they're putting in there, like rock climbing, speed climbing, and skateboarding's in there. I think breakdancing's
I
in
think
there.
3x3
now. Like,
basketball shouldn't be in there. It's just a bit of a joke.
3x3 basketball.
It's just like a 3-point line. Like,
No, I know. It's shit.
Did you have you listened to Ice Cube on Joe Rogan talking
Nah.
about? So he's like the
The head of it.
3x3.
Yeah, so he's the sort of the ambassador, I think. But he's kind of like, I came up with this idea. And what he said was, it was kind of interesting, but also I was like, but so the main point he was saying was that the 5-on-5 version of basketball, obviously the NBA controls that and it's the premier sport or whatever, but eventually you get like your top end athletes, and he used Kobe Bryant as the example, but he's like, eventually you get these top end athletes that no longer can compete in this style of basketball, but they're still going to dominate in different strategies of the game or whatever. So you create like a 3-on-3 where they don't have to run as much, they don't have to play as often, they can still like dominate, and we can see like these premier athletes like extend their career of influence on the sport and all of that sort of stuff.
I'm all for that setting, but
mad.
putting the Olympics...
That was his whole thing, and he's like, imagine...
That's actually sick.
Yeah, he's like, imagine like Kobe Bryant retires, and then it's almost just like a victory lap, like goes to this 3-on-3 league, and then just dominates for another 10 years, and like other kids can see them play and all of this sort of stuff, which I thought was cool. And then he was saying like the NBA have like squashed 3-on-3, like the exposure. They've gone to like all like CNN, ESPN and stuff, and like you can't document any of this 3-on-3 stuff. So he's like, well, I'm just going to do a podcast tour. So he started on Joe Rogan to build the awareness around this 3-on-3 league. But it'll be interesting to see, because I think that's going to start happening with more, especially like, I don't know if you guys follow, obviously you don't follow golf, but it's just happened with golf.
They've got the two, like, second division.
The Saudi Arabian it's called the PIF, I believe is what it's called. But apparently they've got $600 billion just set to change like the narrative around Saudi Arabia, and they're trying to like soften their world, which is going to be tough because they've done some really like terrible
I know, man. 600 billion is a lot.
Yeah, but this is the thing. So they started this league called the Live Golf. Live Golf. And then they just went out and just hammered top level players. So Phil Mickelson apparently signed a $600 million deal to go and play with this Live fund. To play in this Live League, and it's gone up for 2 years, and now the PGA and Live are merging.
They're merging.
Because PGA are like...
Can't beat them, join them.
Literally. So for 2 years...
It's like Star Wars or some shit. Just come with us. We can fucking take over the world.
It's this massive thing. So for 2 years, the PGA have been telling
all
players...
the golfers back to the same spot.
Yeah, literally. So another one would be...
Look, what's happened with the NBA and the ABA, whatever the fuck it was back in the day. Like Dr. J and all them came over.
So this Live thing popped up, and like, let's just say 10 top level golfers went across. Cam Smith, who's like Australia's best golfer, went. $200 million he made. Just like off the drop of the hat, sign, walk across. And for 2 years, they sort of were like vilified as like the bad guys of golf, because they're like ruining the
PGA
prestige.
Yeah, they're ruining the prestige and the history of what golf is.
Isn't it like the crowds cheer and shit? Like it's a bit more like a rock concert.
A lot of that like traditionalism of golf has sort of been like brought down a level because of it. One of the rules which the players were happy with, they were allowed to wear shorts when they played. Like just like little things like that.
That's good. Adapted for the 21st century.
Yeah.
Like.
So
for playing Saudi Arabia, it might be a bit hot.
Yeah. Well, they're all around the world and whatever, but it doesn't matter. So
they have pyro.
Man, it's crazy. They're like events. They had Fisher. They had Fisher DJing. So anyway, so for 2 years, the PGA were like, don't go. We're going to fix how much money you guys make. Like, do not go, do not go, do not go. It's dirty money. Don't go, don't go. All these players are like, come across. The money's awesome. We play less golf. We make more. All of this sort of shit. And then out of nowhere, the guy who runs the PGA, like the CEO of the PGA, just one morning woke up and it was all news. It was like, we're merging with Live. And they didn't speak to any of the players, any of all this. So now all the current players that stayed in the PGA, turned down these massive contracts, are like, well, where the fuck's my money?
Yeah.
Like, I turned down $400 million because you told me to stay here because it's dirty, and now you've just signed. So I reckon...
They have an offer they can't refuse.
Yeah, I reckon behind the scenes, someone on the board of PGA has just been paid off a fucking stupid amount of money.
Multiple of them, yeah.
Yeah. And they just signed it, and now one of them's taken like extended leave. Like it's like this huge...
That's mad.
So now I'm sure all the other sports, because they've started buying a lot of like they're trying to build the UFC apparently they're invested in the UFC, this PIF. They own a massive portion of Disney.
Really?
So they're like on the board of Disney now. Like they're just going to like filter through like all of these global
corporations.
So like if Saudis start making a basketball league, like all these like
3-on-3.
Imagine just 3-on-3. Maybe Ice Cube. Maybe Ice Cube's
2-on-2.
working for him.
Far
But it's
out.
an interesting.
Ice Cube's a Saudi Arabian agent.
Yeah, he is. It's a very interesting time for world sport. I think.
Well, that's it. It just takes when there's some big players throwing around big money, fucking shit changes. Like that's fucking
money talks.
Money talks.
And that's the big thing. Like, the big hit on the PGA were like they were saying like it's not about the money. Like think about the traditionalism and like all the majors and like Tiger Woods and the impact he's had and all this. And then when it came out, all of the players were like it was just about the money.
So moving forward, will it be known as the PGA or is it just Live Golf now?
No, it would be known. It would still be known as the PGA, but
But it's owned by.
they still haven't exactly explained how it's all going to work.
Right.
But they're all back in now. All these bad boys that made fucking hundreds and hundreds of millions.
So they
of
can
dollars.
play wherever they want. They can play PGA or they can
Yeah,
play this
it's all
one.
starting to open back up again.
So
So
Fisher, the PGA get Fisher. as
Fisher,
well.
yeah, I think so. Yeah, he was part of the
Part of the deal.
contract.
deal.
That was the last. That was the final piece to seal the deal.
Like you might have seen. Did you see the Burt Kreischer? Someone hit a hole in one or something, and he was like running down the middle of the.
No way.
Yeah, like with his
out.
shirt off, like pounding beers and shit. Everyone was doing shoeies. Like it's that's the
funny.
Australian one, but yeah. Australia is so cliche on the world. Like everyone,
shoeies.
just shoeies. Everyone like Daniel Ricciardo, shoeies. The
Yeah.
Bam from
Bam
the
Tuivasa, yeah.
shoeies. Like what the fuck?
The whole world just thinks we're just snakes and shoeies. Like that's all Australia is. You can't go outside because of all the dangerous animals. Shoeies.
Shoeies.
Yeah, she's
So it's always about the
Were
money.
shoeies much of a thing when you guys were growing up? House parties,
Nah.
different crowd.
I
Obviously,
think Daniel
that was around.
Ricciardo
back
really.
then shoes were for wearing.
Yeah, not in my day. There was some shoeies.
Yeah.
happening. Not heaps. There was always a couple. There was always that one guy. Who just
There was that
loved doing
chat
shoeies.
guy doing a shoey in the back of the backyard.
boys.
Nah, Daniel Ricciardo put the shoeies on the map. I think.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Not a fan of Daniel.
No,
Why not?
I don't trust him.
Really?
Yeah, I don't trust him.
What is it? The cheesy grin?
It's cheesy everything. It's not funny.
You're not a fan.
No, he's just not funny. I don't know. Like I watched Drive to, I don't know, man. I watched the Drive to Survive, whatever else. Every time he came on, he just did some cringy shit. Between the
Yeah.
shoey and the shit gags, too much smiling.
Too much smiling.
You can't
Too
trust
much
him with the
Mr.
smiles
Nice
that
Guy.
much.
Too much. Yeah, you can't trust the guy.
He can't be that happy.
No, he can't be. I don't trust him.
I don't mind him.
Yeah, well,
I'm neutral. I know nothing about
that's
him.
you. I think I don't like him.
Yeah, I don't think he's had much success. Obviously, he's been in it for a long time, but I think he's been moved around a lot of clubs and teams, which is not a good sign normally.
When you're getting
When you start getting traded every
so
season.
what does that say?
This your driver. That's what it says.
Shit driving, you can't trust him. Something behind those smiles, I reckon.
Yeah, we know the ins and outs of F1, but we're going to move on. Apparently, you boys are on a weight loss accountability kick
Yeah.
because you don't have the discipline.
We don't have the discipline. No, 100%. I just don't.
I'm a
I
shit
don't
coach.
have a discipline. If I rely purely on discipline, it's not going to work. So I need a bit of external accountability. So
Some motivation.
I'm just a shit coach.
well, that too.
Yeah.
I'm a shit coach as well. I set a bad example.
So what is this? What is going on here?
We're losing 5 kilos.
No, so you said last.
That's what's going on.
No, you said that you had a realization after the podcast last week.
Yeah, just over the last week. They're like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll lose a couple kilos, get close to 90. And I'm like, you know what? I could lose 5 kilos. I could lose more than 5 kilos. I'll lose 5 in the next couple months. That's the plan. Similar rate of loss that I've already been on. I lost 4 kilos in a couple months, lose another 4 or 5. Yeah, by my next comp, which will be nationals. So here's the thing. I've got to be over 90. So I reckon I'm going to aim to wake up 89 something, then just have breakfast, which I never do at comps because I'm usually overweight. That's how I usually go at comps. So I want to get to 89 by the end of September, have breakfast, weighing 90 point something. And then from there, I want to keep going. I reckon, into
You want to get
summer.
lean.
But I think realistically I can get between like 86 and 88.
You're on
That's where I wanna
that
go to.
lean body arc.
Lean body arc. Summer's coming, bro.
Get shredded. We gotta get shredded.
No, shut up.
Yeah,
And then Bouz wants to lose a couple too.
Gotta get shredded.
So you guys are working together to lose
Yeah, we
this
just
weight.
we just put it on a whiteboard.
We're just going to check in with each other each week, potentially on the podcast. It's not that interesting though, so probably not. But yeah, just fucking bit of accountability.
I'm just trying to wean off the Migoza.
Yeah, you've been slamming.
I've got to wean off the
I've reined it.
Afghan.
I've reined
lately.
it. Oh, Afghan and mee goreng are fucking completely different things.
Man, put some respect on Afghan.
Put some respect on it. Mee goreng and legit Afghan charcoal grill.
Afghan just rice and grilled meat. Nothing.
Oh,
nothing
it's
too bad.
unbelievable, man.
Nothing too
It's
bad.
actually unbelievable.
God's law, man.
No, that's so Turkish. But
Oh, is that Turkish?
Yeah.
Fuck, I got no idea. Every time we go to fucking Brunswick or whatever, not
Coburg.
Brunswick. No, we go out there
Coburg.
at the west side doing things out the
That's
west
more
side.
Turkish. This is Bouz goes to Afghan. Bit different.
Bouz is always everywhere, and any suburb is like there's a mad enter some
Yeah.
very unique.
Yeah, because Melbourne's fucking mad.
It is mad.
There's a lot. We're very lucky.
Melbourne's mad.
We're very lucky.
So where's your favorite? Where's your favorite Afghan spot?
Sahar Grill in Dandenong.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Cam goes there more frequently than me. Cam goes there twice a week, three times. We've started getting 6 skewers.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh,
Is that too many?
the drive home is like because we get there around 7 o'clock. Usually you get the mixed grill. There's like a chicken, lamb, and beef, like a kofta, like a mince sort of thing. And you get a couple extra chicken because chicken's a bit leaner. You get the rice and they get naan. You get a piece of naan, but this thing's in a basket and it's just monstrous. Get the couple extras. It's a significant amount of food. Drive home. We finish up around 7:30, 7:45. Thursday's a big day. Like, your eyes start to shut a little bit on the drive home.
One of those ones.
Yeah,
In a coma.
it's good.
Bit of
That's
car
it's a
coma.
big sleep. And then Friday mornings, there's some dramas.
Do you wake up with a dry mouth?
I wake up something. I don't know. It's my 5 a.m. wake up.
Oh, and then
That's
it's the early wake for you as
It's
well.
the early wake up. Yeah. So the clients, everyone in here at the gym floor, 6 a.m., they're like, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, just give me 15 minutes.
Just gonna go sweat it out.
Yeah. Just walk straight in. It's like walk in at 6, my shift starts, and I just take a sharp left. As soon as I walk
Straight in the toilet.
yeah. Away you guys. See you later.
See you in
I'll be
15.
back 15.
Train hard.
All right.
I believe in you.
So what are the strategies you're employing to lose weight, Dids? What are we gonna hit? What are we gonna see?
We're going to see 3 main meals a day. I'm capping it at that.
Yep.
And then snacks, just mainly going to rely on fruit. So
Plants
I'm
and
going-
proteins.
Plants and protein, up to 3 pieces of fruit a day instead of 2. It's a nice low-calorie snack. And yeah, just 3 meals. With that, though, naturally 3 meals versus 4. It's probably going to be a bit harder to get protein in, so I will have to be aware of that and just try and make sure probably dinner is like more of like a double protein meal as opposed to like the usual serve. Yep. So yeah, that'll be the main thing. Honestly, I think that'll do it. What I have definitely thought about and kind of realized is that I think just the overall amount of activity I've been doing has been helpful, and I think will continue to be helpful in just managing weight. Because yeah, I'm not super light at the moment, but the weight's coming down, and I'm not starving myself or anything like that. It was in the past when I was like trying to get like well below 90, like down to 85. Like it was a struggle, man. Like I was tracking my calories. Like it was super low calories. I was doing like 10, 12,000 steps a day, but it was like depressing. Like, and then because the calories were so low, I just fucking rebound on the weekend because my weeks were miserable.
The
But I
old
think
binge restrict.
the old binge restrict. But I think now that I'm just more active. Like I wasn't playing basketball back then. I've added in 2 runs a week. So just overall, I'm just getting that heart rate up a little bit more. How many times over the last year I've been like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do some cardio. I did the air bike for like 2 sessions.
Man,
and
the
then
air
I
bike
stopped.
sucks.
And that's the thing. Honestly,
I've got to bring it in.
I'm all about running now. Like
Actually, I have to.
the running. Yeah, Bouz needs to manage his just lower limb, but the
Shank.
the lower shank. But the beauty of running is it's just fun, man. Like because we all want to do cardio. Yeah, we can do the air bike. Yeah, there's not much fatigue, but like if you consistently do the air bike for more than like 10 minutes. My hat's off to you because I couldn't. I've literally tried so many times and it never happens.
You got
Whereas
to
I've-
undulate intensities. That's the key.
even then, I can't do it. Whereas with running, I've been running consistently. I just get it in because it's fun. It's
You're outside.
You're outside.
Vitamin
like,
D. You're
it's
getting your
mad.
retinas saturated.
100%.
Yeah, with that
sun
natural
your nuts
light.
while you're there. Like
Optic flow. Hubie would have heaps to say about
Hubie
it.
loves runs. Did anyone see the Andrew Huberman and knees over toes guy
Oh my god.
on the beach? Has
I think
anyone
I've seen
seen that? Oh my god! I'm gonna have to show you.
Removable fucking rock medicine, unstoppable force.
Yeah, no, they literally they were talking about the benefits of doing reverse sled pulls on the beach, and it was like cutting between knees over toes, explaining like it pumps your quads, and then it would go to Huberman. He's like, and I'm getting sun in my eyes, and then it will go back to knees over toes. He's like, it's great for knee rehab, and then it goes back to Hubie, and he's like,
These
I'm
guys
out.
know they're memeing themselves.
It's
don't they?
literally like a
Hubie's copping a
meme.
rinsing. He's just like the new meme format. Like anything that Huberman says, just fucking make a meme out of.
Butter in the coffee. Man, one of his
He
worst
doesn't
takes.
fucking train.
Doesn't he?
Well, I don't know. Like he's training shit, bro. He fucking doesn't. He's never bench pressed. I'm sorry. You can't say you train if you've never bench
He's
pressed.
not functional, man.
Yeah, the bench
It's not
press is
ancestral.
definitely a threshold. Like you have to bench.
Or like not even have. You have to at least bench press like once in your life. Like that just says to me, you don't fucking step foot in the gym, or what you do in the gym isn't it. Like if you're talking that much about health and fitness, You gotta know something about the fucking gym.
Especially the bench press.
Especially the fucking, I don't know, man. Like, too many words. Fucking nerd. Sucks. Nah, pisses me off.
Didn't he have a video with Mark Bell in the gym?
Yeah, they're probably fucking
No, I think
wrestler dragon.
No, I think Mark Bell was like, I think that was exactly it. He was like teaching him how to bench press.
Yeah, it's like, I've never done this before.
Yeah. Nah.
Isn't he like 45 or something?
I don't know.
Fuck.
But the other thing with Hubie, he was on the Joe Rogan podcast. I've brought Joe Rogan up a few times, but he was on Joe Rogan's podcast and they were talking about ice baths. And then Joe was like, oh, what temperature do you have your ice baths at? And then he said, whatever, I'm just going to say 10 degrees. I don't know what it was. And Joe was like, oh, Joe was pretty much just calling him a bitch, like straight to his face. It was like, it's not cold enough. Like, it's like you spat all these ideas about ice baths. It's not even an ice bath. Like, just started rinsing.
It's just cold water.
Joe Rogan loves to set his guests up for failure. Right? He loves to ask him a question. Like, you can see, like, I don't watch too much, but you can see when he's about to do it. It's just like furrow in his brow. It's like, he's going to ask him. He's like, I know they're going to fuck up. And I ask him, and then he just slaps him across the face.
Anything
like
cold therapy, heat therapy, no one knows more than him. So
yeah, or he's had a podcast guest on that told him like fucking 40 episodes ago.
One specific
and it's like,
fact.
oh, but so-and-so said this. And he just fucks out.
Yeah.
far out.
Yeah, so the air bike is not it.
But yeah, so that's the thing. Like I've never consistently done cardio until I started running. Obviously basketball too. Like I don't miss games, but I think it's actually got me doing cardio, whereas I just never did. And you know, it's not always about weight loss, just staying in shape. If I can eat a bit more food and hover around the same body weight because I'm being more active, I'm all for it. Like, yeah, steps are good. You got to get steps in, but like I get steps in. Like I don't sit on my ass. I get about 10,000. I don't want to be here doing 16,000 steps. Go for a couple runs a week. I definitely think it's helping. So yeah, I think that'll be something just to keep in moving forward. Just to not, as I said, it's not always about weight loss. Just weight management. If you want to hang around the rate you're at and not have to starve yourself, be active.
Yeah, you don't want to be.
Doesn't hurt.
Because you look at the total daily energy expenditure thing, like the exercise activity is still part of it.
Yeah, it's not everything. Obviously, you need to manage your nutrition, but like, it's going to vary from person to person. Some people can cut on like heaps of calories. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. So for me, it's probably going to be, and for plenty of people listening, like you got to make sure you're attacking multiple different things to help you get there.
Yeah. How has your running been?
It's been good. Did my first 5K on the weekend, so I missed Heavy Run Club.
Fine.
Very shameful. But I got G'd up because like literally everyone who went did like 4.5Ks. I was planning to do 3Ks, up a K from the previous week. I'm like, nah, fuck it. I've got to run 5K. So I did 5Ks. The first 2Ks were fine. And then it just got harder from there. And then the final K was really tough.
Demons.
But we got there, 32 minutes.
Good work, bro.
So yeah, just got to fucking. I got to double that for the 10K in October. So it's got to.
Oh, you're in.
Got to build up. I mean.
Yep. How many heavy run clubs have we got in that event?
We've got probably because every time someone joins, we get a notification. It's probably about 8 or 9 at the moment.
Wait, for what?
The team.
We've selected a team so people can register as heavy run clubs.
Really?
So it's like me, James Britton, Maz, Caitlin.
Oh,
Aaron Howlett.
You're the president of the heavy run club.
When it comes to the Nike Run Club, I'll be the president. Saturday mornings, Bouz the president because he actually rocks up.
I've been banned from the Melbourne Marathon. I just didn't get a ticket.
So you're not in
up.
Nah. So you have to do it on an off track.
I'm doing the half marathon like by myself. Me and Charlie. Charlie and I have been saying we're doing this half marathon for so long.
If you didn't get into the Melbourne Marathon, just go run with Bouz. Bouz has got a competing one. It's enhanced.
It'll be way more fun.
It'll be way
it's the live golf of the Melbourne Marathon.
There'll be pyro. I'll be running with sparklers.
Fisher's DJing. I heard.
Have a backpack with Carltons in it. We're gonna hit 21. Yeah. Don't worry. Nike. Fuck big business, man. That's it.
I'm a Nike lifer now.
Huh?
All my shoes are Nike. I'm a
I'm
Nike
still
lifer.
wearing Nikes right now as well, but no.
So you're not in the half marathon?
Nah, I'm not in it.
I told him 2 weeks ago, man, it's 80% sold. Get in.
I'll be honest. That's a very Charlie thing to do, which is like, I'm going to do this event, blah, blah, blah. And then it gets to like the day before it's sold out. And he's like, fuck, I didn't get in. Like, it's a very...
No, he almost
very
did it for the
on
trial
brand,
last time.
very on brand for Charlie. But for you, that's a little off brand.
It is off brand.
It's a bit off brand.
I've been grinding, all right? I've been training, I've been constructing webinars.
Webinar guy.
Landing pages.
Multiple revenue streams.
Working on the back end.
Working on the back end, bro. I'm sorry, man. Like, there's things I've been doing.
Too much on the plate. Next week, chicken skewers. The plate's already loaded with 6 chicken skewers.
I think this is a sign. I'm not a hybrid guy anymore. It's done. It's finished now.
So what's your new arc now?
I'm going to do a bodybuilding show.
No, I didn't like Bouz's bodybuilding arc was my least favourite Bouz.
That was shit as. No, it was fun training. It was fun training. That was so shit. The bodybuilding training side of things was mad because it was like, because we had the strength influence pushing like RDLs and split squat. That was the fun part. The thought of doing a contest, that was the shit part. But I never executed. I just broke my ankle instead.
No
Fantastic.
The best thing ever happened
That
to
was
you.
just an out, wasn't it?
Huh?
The ankle break was just an out.
Yeah. Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
needed
People
a
thought I
reason.
didn't know about the stoppers or the safeties.
You need a reason to
I didn't
end
know
your
how to
prep.
latch it. I was like, I'm going to break the fuck out of my ankle. It's like
I'm gonna take myself out of fucking driving for 4 months.
yeah, I was in the most moderate deficit for a week and a half, so I just broke my ankle.
And you started self-sabotage. Can't do this. Can't do this.
It's the ultimate
it.
self-sabotage.
Yeah, that's
Snap
it.
your
I
ankle.
can't let anyone know that I've made a mistake here, so I'm just going to make a bigger one.
My personal brand. It would be tarnished. It'd be tarnished if I pull out of this. I said I was going to do it. I
You
need
need a reason.
something.
Far out.
Yeah,
I'm going to go all in and have surgery.
yeah, it was worth it. It was definitely worth it. Not doing a bodybuilding show anymore.
Yeah.
That would have been worse than breaking your ankle.
The bodybuilding show? Yeah, 100%.
Fuck that.
No, literally 100%. I had to rebound off of it. Would have lost my hair.
Yeah.
Other
Lost
dramas.
some other things as
Other
well.
below the waist dramas.
I've got enough of those. Oh, no, that came out wrong. That came out wrong. That didn't mean what I meant to mean.
Pure mind. Didn't go to the gutter.
That came out
first.
wrong.
Didn't go to, I don't get it.
How does that?
What dramas? You gotta
Look,
be
I know
explicit.
below the waist means below the waist. I just literally meant physically below the waist, like your fucking fucked ankle and shit. Like that's below the waist, but that's not what below
Oh,
the
so
waist
you weren't
means.
talking about my cock.
I wasn't talking about your cock. Nah, I'll leave your cock out of it.
My mind went straight to your cock.
Yes.
As it should when you say below the waist, but I'm a fucking idiot, so don't mind me.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're off the bodybuilding arc.
No, it's all good. Maybe I'll break my other ankle now.
No, you're good. You're
No,
good.
I'm trying to get out of the hybrid arc.
Every time you get deep into a pursuit and
Oh, shit.
the rubber hits the road, fuck.
Yeah, how can I ruin this?
Yeah, we love a bit of self-sabotage. Yeah.
Keeps the blood pumping.
Absolutely.
Keeps the demons.
We got anything else, fellas? I think we might be done.
And that's it.
All done?
Yeah, I'm going to get shredded.
Done. Bouz's webinar will be the links down below. Push, pull, run, actually, before. Probably got about 3 more weeks of the coaching intake open. So if you're interested in doing push, pull, run, reach out to one of the coaches or jump through the website. We'll be happy to help you out. I think we're about maybe 13 weeks away or something, which will be fun. For those that want to just do push, pull, run on an event, I'm going to launch those tickets 8 weeks out, the remaining amount. Looks like there'll be a handful left over, so they'll be there for those that are interested in undertaking the event without the coaching. If you want to put your name on the email list for that, it's at the very bottom of the landing page for Push Pull Run. Just a little section you can drop your email and be notified when they open. Otherwise, yeah, that's it. Thank you very much for listening. 5 stars, subscribe, jump in the Discord, keen to chat. Ciao.